Good morning, my wonderful friends. So good to have you along. As you may be able to tell, I'm a little bit cold this morning, but it's actually not too bad. I just washed my hands in cold water, so I thought I'm going to put my fingerless gloves on that hubby bought me last week just to help warm them up before we get into today's project. Excuse me. Today we are going to make some fun little faux seed packets. Super cute. I've actually never made faux seed packets before, and I was just kind of thinking about what I wanted to do and came across one of my books that I've picked up. I just noticed I've made got a little bit of white paper sticking out, and tried inking it, but it's a little bit too much, so I'm just going to carefully trim that off. So I came up with this idea. I know it's not a new idea, but it's new to me. I have never, as I said, never made them before, and made up a sample one just so I could kind of get a feel for how I wanted to make these. So I think it's super cute. We're going to be using some book images, and I'm using a gardening book and putting the information on as well, but you don't have to do that. You could use any fussy cuts, images from books, magazine images, whatever. You don't need the information. I just thought, well, I'm using a gardening book, I may as well put the information with it and the name of the flower. But you can just make it up. You could use stamps, you could use random text. You don't have to put any text on at all. So it's, you know, it's make-believe. We don't need to be hyper realistic here. Just fun for our journals. Right, I'm steeling myself to whip my gloves off because I haven't had them on very long, maybe 3 minutes before I turn the video on. And they're so cozy. They're really, really cozy. They've got this lovely thermo lining. So nice. My hubby is so good to me. Right. Oh, my hands are still so cold. So today, this is going to be a design team project for the Junk Journal Studio. As most of you will know, I'm on Michelle's design team. And I'm using the Botanical Collage and Cluster Mega Pack Red Add-on Kit, or Add-on Red Kit, I think it's actually called. So I'm using these as the base to create my little packet. Bear in mind with the way I'm going to make these that if you have a directional paper, some of it's going to be upside down. So I'm going with ones that don't have a recognizable or in-your-face direction. So ones with text on like this I'm not using, but these two are fine. These flowers won't matter if they're upside down. This one's great, this one's great. This one with the fleur-de-lis, probably not going to use that one because upside down fleur-de-lis. I think it would actually be okay, but I'm not going to make heaps because, you know, I don't mass make. So I'm going to cut these into strips, into their strips of 3. So I'm going to start with this one, and I make them about 3.5, somewhere between 3.5 and 3 3/4 inches wide. Just bearing in mind that I'm on A4 paper. If you're printing with US letter size, your dimensions are most likely going to be different. Or even if you print on A4, depending on your printer settings, your dimensions could be different as well. But just approximately 3.5 to 3 3/4 inches wide. And just by the full width of your whatever paper you're using, just the once you've trimmed off the white, that full length, width, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to cut 2 off this one. And I'm going to push this one out to 3 3/4. Maybe not quite, maybe a smidge less. Just so we're not eating into that final panel too much. So I've got this lovely strip left over for something else. I'm going to cut 4. I don't know that we'll actually get 4 done. Probably not, but you know, they can go in my box to be done at some point. I am going to be using a scoreboard because I find it easier to be doing what we're going to do, but you don't need to use a scoreboard if you don't have one. Just to give you a little heads up on that. Just want to get right in between those two patterns. Right, so that one, I could use it for this, but I'm probably not going to need it. Oops, crash. Right, so take the first one and I'm going to pop it on my scoreboard. If I can get it open, there we go. And there, and I'm going to go very, very small. In fact, I'm not going to put it right up against the thing because I'm going to go somewhere in between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. So I don't want them super big because I don't want to lose too much real estate on my on my seed packet. Sorry, I just seem to be a little bit froggy in this video. Not quite sure why. Okay, and I'm just going to flip it around because it's easier to hold. Just make sure it's straight and do approximately the same. They don't need to be the same, guys. Just make yourself a little strip down the side. That's going to be our gusset. Okay, so just like that. Maybe I should do all of them while I'm here. Let's try mess make style. You know, I'm not a fan of it really because it just doesn't suit my personality, I guess. My preference. I get bored doing the same thing over and over, but I've only got 4 here, so I shouldn't get too bored. I thought I might as well do it while I'm here, and then we can put the scoreboard away because that's all we're using it for. So if you're more comfortable working with a larger gusset, then just cut your paper a bit wider. So you can make your side bits a little bit wider if that's, you know, that's all adjustable. Just make it to your preference, to your size, and to suit whatever size image you are using. If you're using larger images, make these larger by all means. If you want minis, now that would be fun. These aren't that big, these little seed packets, but if you want to make them even smaller, well, that would be fun too. I do enjoy a good mini. Minis are fun and cute and just, oh, just adorable. I love adorable things. So I'm on a limited time frame this morning. I've got food bank this afternoon, so I need to be there about 12:30ish, right in the middle of lunchtime. It's not ideal for me, but that's okay. What's complicating it is I have a physio appointment this morning, which is going to take me right up to 12. So yeah, it's gonna be a little awkward, but that's okay. Right, so now I'm going to fold in these little gussets. And I'll make this one up, and then maybe we'll try mass making the other 3. We shall see. Okay, so we've got our side gussets in there. Now we want to fold up, so choose which way you want. A little note, if you want to glue these onto a page, then this is going to be your front, the front with the flap. So if you glue it down, then you won't want to decorate this part. So bear that in mind. These, I want to have them floating to tuck into a pocket, and then I'm going to intend on making a little journal card or something to go inside. So they'll tuck into a pocket, so I've decorated both sides. So if you do have a pattern like this, does have flowers that are directional, but I don't mind if they're upside down. Decide which side is going to be your front So if you're gluing it down, then make your pattern the right way up on this side. But if you're having it floating like me and you're decorating this side, then have this side the right way up. Hopefully that makes sense. So this is going to be my decorative front, I think. Hang on, I've got to work it out now. No, it's actually going to end up the back. Will it? Doesn't matter either way, actually. Just do it however. So I'm going to fold it up, leaving however much of a flap you want. Something between an inch and a half inch will be fine. Just your little closure flap. Okay. So now I'm going to open it out, open up these side seams, and we're going to trim this long section of the gusset off. So at an angle up towards that crease line from the short side. So this is the short side or short end, and then down that crease, and I'm going towards the inside of the crease. Just trimming down to meet where that other cut is, more or less, and then the same on this side. Okay, testing that I've cut it appropriately. This side is looking good. This has got a little bit of white showing because I didn't cut it straight. So I'm just going to trim it back a little bit, because I can see I missed the crease. I went on the crease as opposed to beside it. Just doing another little check. That's looking better. Okay, so this is our flat piece. Now before we glue it down, oh, just hang on 1 second. Also take a little mitre piece off the top of those gussets there. That's just going to mean they won't show when it's all glued together. Won't have any white showing. Come on, get them off that way, it's quicker. Okay, right, so before you glue it together, if you want rounded corners, you can use a corner rounder. Lost the term there for a moment. You could snip them into angles like you do a tag, but whether you round them or angle them like a tag, quick and easy, rather than grabbing out your corner rounder, or you know, you may not have one, is just pinch the two corners together but don't crease it, and then either do your angle or your rounding, and then you'll get the same shape on both sides. And I'm just going to round this quick and easy. Just ease out that. You will get a slight soft crease. You can just ease it out with your fingers, and then you've got a cute little top on that. If you're distressing, distress it now. I also put a little thumb notch in, so I'm going to do that again. And I like to, when it's not wider than your punch, I like to hold it on both sides so I can kind of feel that it's centered-ish, you know, within reason. Take a little thumb notch out, and then distress before you glue it together. It's, well, some parts of it. So I'm going to distress that top of it. I am also going to grab out my glue pages. Glue this, what's going to be the inside of the flap. And then I'm just going to take down that white a little bit. I don't mind the white really, but I prefer the vintagey kind of look. Make it look a bit older. Okay, so now I'm going to glue up these sides just using my tacky glue. You could use glue stick or whatever your favorite glue is. It doesn't need to be a strong glue, just whatever's most convenient for you. So a bit of glue, fold your piece up, glue it down. So really quite easy to make. So that's all good. Just make sure you don't glue it together. And then fold your top down, your little flap. Don't fold it all the way to the top here. Just back it off a little bit, leave a little bit of a gap. And try and make it straight, which I was about to not do. Mine was about to be quite crooked. Yeah, that's looking okay. And then you can go around and distress the rest of it. So distressing this top bit is easier to do it without gluing, and the inside here, if you want to give it a bit of ink, it's not impossible afterwards, but it's just easier. And then once it's glued together, you can whip around and do the rest. Okay, so that's the base of our little faux seed packets, and just like that, it is cute. Like you could just stick a label on it, or you know, and call it done, and it would be so super pretty. But let's go and do, shall we try doing the rest of them? Shall we? I'm kind of like, oh, do I really want to just go ahead and do the rest of them? We'll do at least one more anyway, just so you get the process for any who may not have seen this done before, or it might be new for you. Okay, so we've done our fold, open it back out and do our mitering there and there. It can be quite hard to see where you're cutting with where the crease is. So you might have to, you could even draw a line if you wanted to help you see. I find angling it a certain way into the light helps, if I can do that. Not always easy on camera. So I'm wondering what the physio is going to find, whether they'll have a specific condition that is causing me my shoulder and arm pain, or whether it's just wear and tear or what it is, but I can tell you it's quite painful. I was just ignoring it. It's like, it's okay, it's not constant, and well, pretty near it's constant, which is really frustrating. Okay, looking good there. Take our wee mitery corners off here. You know, when it gets to the point that it hurts to dress and undress, you know there's a problem. When it was just intermittent, and after I'd carried in some firewood or lifted a heavy box or something, you could kind of go, oh yeah, you know, it's just those activities. But dressing and undressing, yeah, it shouldn't be happening, should it? Should be able to do those things easily and comfortably. But I cannot right now, and I need to wash my hair, and the thought of having my arms up in the air to wash my hair is not particularly attractive to me right now. Right, let's do that. Before I ink, let's do the corner rounding. Shall we do a tag shape this time, just for something different? Why not? There we go. A couple of little triangles. And then I can tell which way I prefer. The rounding. I suspect I prefer the rounding, but hopefully I haven't taken those angles too deep. That will show, but we'll find out. glue. Don't need a lot of glue. It's going to stick together. It's only light paper. I am only using photocopy weight paper, so 80 GSM. It's nothing super special or heavy, because it is going to have something else inside it. Now I did glue that on crooked. Can we lift it off and try again? I don't know if it's any better. Maybe a smidge, but I don't think it is. Now do I need to re-glue? I think I need to re-glue. Ripping it up. Just lost the glue, the stickability. It'll be what it is. Don't fuss with it, dear. Don't fuss. Right, now our flap down. Just got a little bit sticking out because I didn't fold it properly. One of the reasons I don't messmate, because I tend to not be so precise, and I like to be precise. So there we have another cute little one, albeit with slightly, yeah, folded the paper wrong. That's okay. Move on. Somebody picking it up, I mean, they're probably not even going to notice. And once it's decorated, it'll distract even further from that. So if I truly was mess making, I would be like, okay, we've done those folds, let's do the next one, do the same fold. I have heard other people say they don't mess make too, and that kind of made me happy. I really admire those that can mess make. I'm thinking of you, Mari. It's like, I mean, I get the point of it. I totally, and it makes sense. It's efficient, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Okay. So let's try and get this maybe a little more, whoops, that's not up far enough, a little more straight, perhaps, kind of. So that one, and this one. I think part of the problem is the cutting. When I'm trimming it, I'm not trimming it the same. You know what? It doesn't matter. Telling myself it doesn't matter. Oops, I can barely see where I'm cutting. Probably again part of the problem. Sort of paying a bit more attention at the moment. That's why I went quiet. I was, yeah, see, one I'm cutting further in than the other side. Interesting. But that's looking better. That's lining up much better that time. Okay, we can do it. We can make it look perfect. But doesn't matter if it's not perfect, guys. Really doesn't. Alright, I might just actually bend that back so I can see a little better. That might help. Going out to family lunch on Friday, which will be lovely. I wasn't able to go to last month's one, so I haven't been since what's this month? July. So I haven't been since May, because it's only once a month. So I've only missed 1 month. So that should be fun. It's at a venue I've never been to before, so I'm going to my mum's and then going to travel with them to the venue. So I'll spend a bit more time with my mum, which is all good. Okay, let's do these little miters at the top. Push them that way, I'll deal with them later. Saves you watching me fuss around with the little scraps. Okay, yep, we're looking good. Looking good. Okay, now what did I prefer? Did I prefer the angles or the rounded? I think I do like the rounded. So I'm going to do these two rounded. Trying to maneuver them in. Doesn't help that my fingers are still cold either. It kind of, oh, it's slipping on me. That one. And this one. Just be careful that you don't cut into the fold part instead of the two loose corners, because then you end up with an interesting shape that you didn't intend on, which could be fun in itself. Okay, ink up. You can skip the inking if you're not an inker. It's not critical to the design. Just my preference. And you could even do it in a fun colour if you wanted. You could do it in a matching colour for the outside, or whatever you like. Right, let's do our thumb notches. You don't need to do a thumb notch either. Entirely up to you. Again, just a style preference thing, but I just like it. True seed packets don't have the thumb notch. Well, not the ones we have in New Zealand anyway. Not that I've bought a seed packet for a long time, because I don't garden, so. But I'm pretty sure they're just straight across the top normally. So we're just making it our own. Okay, glue. Oops, went off a bit there. And then fold the top down. They're just so adorable, my friends. So adorable. Loving them. Now this one, I'm not sure that I actually checked the alignment. I can't remember. Or maybe I did, because that's looking pretty darn good. So you can see how small of a gusset I've left. It's just really small. So that we're not making our little seed packet too narrow. Okay, that and our top. So to me this definitely needs inking so that you can actually see where the flap is, because it kind of just disappears, which is rather lovely. But you see how it just kind of disappears. Now I haven't put a closure on these to hold the flaps down. I don't think that actually needs them. But if you prefer the aesthetic of a closure, then you could use a little punched out circle or a die cut or something to have the flap tuck under. My goodness, I can barely talk this morning. Maybe the cold is affecting my tongue. It's going to be a lovely day. Hubby got some sheets and stuff washed this morning and hung out before he left for work, because he knew that me putting my arms up to hang up heavy wet washing was not a good idea right now. I'm wondering whether I'll be able to get it in before he gets home, because it'll probably be damp again before he gets home. But it's supposed to be a lovely warmish winter day with warm winds, which makes it a great washing day. So we'll see how I'm feeling, because I'm going to be, doing a bit of lifting and stuff this afternoon for the food bank. Okay, right, we're on to decorating, my friends. Woohoo! How are we going on time? Oh, we've got heaps of time. So we've got these 4 little faux seed packet bases ready. Now, I mentioned that I'm using a gardening book. So this is the gardening book I'm using. Better Homes and Gardens, Garden Flowers You Can Grow. Now, it is heavily damaged. It is mildewed. So there's a lot of it that will have to just be binned, because I don't want to use areas where there is mildew. But there's also a lot in between the mildew, or that hasn't been affected, that I can use. And so that's what we're going to do. These are around about anywhere between 2.5 and 3.5 inches in height, and they are around 2 inches wide, these images. So I want ones that will fit on here, and these vary, like they're not all exactly the same, but they're around 3.5 inches by 3 inches roughly. I'm also looking for ones where the title is not mildewed as well. And ones that I like. Obviously I want to use ones that I like. This is definitely not a New Zealand book. The planting times for these are definitely not New Zealand times. It's like plant in July and it's a sunflower. It's like, no. Or flowers in July. It's like, no. Not New Zealand. We're the opposite to the Northern Hemisphere. I have used this book for a couple of other things. And I've temporarily mislaid my fussy cutting scissors. So I might use that one. So this is a book where I really need to go through and harvest everything, so I can get rid of the mildewed parts rather than have them sit around home. One day I will get to that. One day. So I'm left to fussy cut with my big scissors, but I'm just doing a kiss cut, so it doesn't take too much. Right, take off that bit, throw that away because that's got a bit of mildew on it. And I want this name of the flower, Viola. Right, just going to do a quick little kiss cut around it. And these are black and white illustrations. Totally go with colour if you've got colour images. I do like black and white illustrations though. I find the graphic quality so pretty. And when you partner it with other colours, colours in behind and things, you don't necessarily need a lot of colour. So that's how I like to use my black and white images, or making like vintage faux IDs and things like that. Black and white images are great for those, of course. Right, here we go. Discard that bit. And let's have a look at the rest of the text, see if there's any part of this that we want. So it's got the planting zone, the height it grows to, the colour of the flowers, the bloom time, early spring. Well, that's definitely okay because, yes, early spring. What light they prefer and how to grow them. So there's a lot of information here, but we don't need it all. So I'm going to chop up this side. There's mildew at the bottom. So we're just going to choose a place to cut it off at that's going to fit on our seed packet. So that's rather important as well. So that's, yes, that's going to fit. And we're just going to put, I think after there should be about good. I think we'll manage to fit that on. Just cutting off the bottom of the G's just to get a little bit more space. And cut a bit more of that off. Yep, give it an ink up. Grab out my glue stick and let's stick that on. I got this book free, and when I picked it up I didn't actually realize exactly how damaged it was, but that's okay, I can still use parts of it. Right, let's ink around our little viola here. Now the other thing you can do with these black and white images is, if you do want them in colour, grab out coloured pencils or markers, alcohol markers, whatever you like, and colour them in. I have done that before and it can look really cool if you do want a bit of colour. And you still, you know, if you use something like alcohol markers where you can still see all the beautiful details, as long as the marker's not too dark, then you get the best of both worlds. You get the colour and the beautiful detail preserved. So that's another idea for you if you don't like the black and white look. Right, so on the other one I put like the botanical name on the flap, but I've left it attached to the name of the flower on this one. On my prototype, to help lift the flower off the background, I used a strip of just yellow paper. But I don't think I want the yellow paper on the red, although there's nothing wrong with it. Like, that would still be cute. I think I'm going to use book page instead. So just grabbing out a bit of book page. That colour's quite nice. Tear up the strip very roughly. Just check that there's nothing untoward. I don't know what the book is, I can't remember. Now, is this actually a good colour with this? Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit blendy, but I don't mind it. So I'm just going to pop it on. And I'm going in the middle. You could go to the side or, you know, wherever you like. But in this case, I'm doing centre. It's not straight. That's okay. This I might tacky glue actually, because I just fear I might break it in half. Or gouge out my glue stick. So if you have any botanical type books and you're wondering how to use those beautiful little images, be they colour or black and white, whatever, maybe this is a way you can utilize them. Oops, got glue seepage, obviously put a bit too much glue. That's alright, it will dry. Now where's our little name? Oh, there it is. And where do I want it? Maybe up there. And we can glue stick that. That's easy enough. So you can decorate these up further if you like. I'm keeping it fairly simple because I just want to celebrate the beautiful papers in their own right, and just simply using those black and white illustrations, a little something behind, and then the text from the book, because if we can use it, why not? Ah, this is the angle one. Cool. So we can get to see what it looks like finished. Oh, I'm getting hungry. It's like 20 to 10. Why am I hungry? That is most bizarre. Maybe it's I need another drink. That's probably the case. Coming up to morning tea, and morning tea is normally just a drink, not anything to eat typically, although I could have my prunes. I like to have 3 prunes a day. I forgot yesterday, so hubby started getting into my prunes last night, so I made him bring me 3 over, and he fed them directly into my mouth out of the bottle. So I led him away with getting into my prunes because he brought them over and fed me. So there we go. There's that one done. And they just need something in them now. How are we going on time, my friends? We've got, maybe we can do one more. Let's do this one. This one's already inked around. I think this is the one I was actually going to put that flower on, but it doesn't matter. Right, let's look for something else. There are some colour photographs in here as well, but I particularly like the black and white illustrations. It's all about roses at the back there. Make sure it will fit. What is that? Unfortunately, the flower name is mildewed. Straw flower stock. Phlox. Should we do phlox or petunias? Both of those look relatively okay. Just going to cut the whole strip out, and then I can decide which one I prefer. I think I like the phlox. Oh, is it actually going to fit? Yeah, it will. It will. I think I'll go with the phlox. It's interesting it doesn't have the botanical name at the top. So we want to retain the phlox. Let's cut that out. There's a little bit of staining at the top, water staining, but it's not mildew at the top. Oops, how about we cut straight? That might be nice. Do a quick little cut around again. It might be slightly too big with the border that I'm leaving, but we'll just trim a bit off if we need to. I don't mind if we lose the tip of a leaf. The leaf is a supporting player, it's not the main event, is it? Just very quickly, loosely cutting. Try not to take too much time. Oops, don't lose the word in amongst the rubbish. Just put that across there for safety. Do apologise if I slip off camera while I'm cutting. I'm trying to be conscious of staying in camera, but because I'm up in the air, it's a bit harder to tell. You know, holding my hands and my piece up in the air. Okay. Right. In this case, I think we'll just take the description, or maybe the soil and light, because otherwise we're getting too far down into the mildew, and we've only got, you know, small space on the back. I'm just thinking maybe we just want to keep the description part this time, maybe not the soil and light. I quite like just the description, I think. So yeah, I'm just going to do the description, so we'll trim it off there. Clusters of flowers show well above the foliage on these 15 to 18 inch plants. Dwarf varieties are available in 6 to 8 inch heights. Flowers may be lavender, red, pink, blue or white. Bicolours are sometimes available. Some favourites include Vigorous Salmon Glamour, Dwarf Blue Beauty and Twinkle. Isn't that a cute name? Twinkle. Twinkle. Right, are we going to have to lose a little bit of a leaf? I don't believe we are. Let's see what we think with a bit of book page. Just a little, oh, that's got the word cripple. Well, that's better. That's how it's got the word saint. Okay, yep, let's put that on. It's just a scrap left over from dropping things here. And now I've got a sticky finger because I had to put my finger inside the glue lid to pick it up. So let me just give my finger a little wipe off, because I don't like the stickiness. It's gross. Right, book page on. Oh, it's got the word violently there, but it's covered by the flower. So that's a fuel moment. Giving a little bit of ink in those white spaces that I'm not cutting out. Just on those fine bits, just putting it on my book to ink around the edges. It's a little bit easier. So that's what I was doing off to the side. Tacky glue for this. Oh, I wonder whether that bit I cut off on the soil and light, whether that would fit on the flap. Maybe we'll do that. I might have to grab it back out the rubbish if I can find it. So I really did think I was going to have to trim some off of that, but no, we fitted it in there. Give this little name of the flower a little frame with the distress ink. And you could layer this up as well. You could put it on an extra little bit of paper or book page or something, but I'm just putting it on as is. Cute. Okay, give this a little edge of ink. Right, can I find that bit I cut off? Here it is. No, that's not it. This bit. Why not? Let's just put it on there. Fun information. So, almost any well-drained soil is suitable for phlox. Full sun is desirable. Water during dry periods. Okay, and let's pop that there on the flap. Oop, bit of glue on the front of it. Should dry okay. So we've got 2 completely done. I'm quite happy with that. That's good going, I think. And then I've got my prototype here. And we've got 2 more to decorate up. And we have a little few minutes. So in the few minutes we have left, how about we make a little card to go inside? So for this purpose, I have these little ephemera pieces from the red add-on kit from the Junk Journal Studio. Let's just choose maybe this first one. Doesn't matter. Any one of them would be pretty. I'm going to cut it out, and it's too small for the little seed packet. Just going to roughly cut that away, make it easier to cut out. But I'm going to show you how to deal with that. Very simple. Very, very simple. I mean, you could use a masterboard, just put it on a masterboard and cut it to size. That would be absolutely fantastic way of doing it. Oh, that would look cute just on the front, wouldn't it? Like, there you go. If you don't have any other fussy cuts or anything, just grab one of these out of the kit and just plonk it on the front. Done. Awesome, pretty, beautiful. But now you could use any paper to mat it onto. I just saw this bit of green and thought, well, why not? So I'm going to glue it on so it's basically got even borders around it. Just going to change out my glue page. So you could mat it with book page, scrapbook paper, whatever you like, coffee dyed paper. Oops, that's not quite centre, but that's okay. So, is it straight is the thing, probably more important than the evenness. So I'm just going to trim it just in case it's not actually straight. And I'm just lining up the edge of this piece on my guillotine so that I know it's straight. And it's also going to give me relatively even borders as well. Okay. Okay, just check that it's going to fit. Yes, it is. And now I'm going to back that with some more paper. Bit of coffee dyed diary paper here. a little bit crinkly, so I'm going to have to force it flat when I glue it on. Maybe I'll use both tacky and glue stick, just because I do need to flatten that little crinkle in the coffee dyed paper out. Now you could round the corner on this little piece. I may do, but I will wait until the glue's dry before I attempt that sort of craziness. Right. So I'm using the lines on the paper to line it up. And hope it's nice and straight. So it's going to have a little to-do list on the back, which is kind of fun. If it's used by a gardener, the to-do list might be when they want to plant or harvest, or what area of the garden needs weeding. I don't know, I'm not a gardener. But it's also, you could go in any journal. It doesn't need to be a garden journal. It's just fun. So not sure whether I'll back it or not, but then that's just going to slide in to our wee seed packet, and because of our thumb notch you can see it in there and pull it out fine. And you've got a fun little bit of ephemera to tuck into a pocket in a journal. How cute are they? I think they've turned out really sweet and just super simple. Like, I haven't done anything super complicated. Got 3 finished, 2 yet to decorate up. I think we did a jolly good work today, even though I only actually made 2 finished on camera. That's okay. We made a journal card too. Yay! Thanks for joining me, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this project and give it a go. You know, grab out a book or something where you can get some images from, or your fussy cuts, your favourite floral fussy cuts, and make up some faux seed packets for yourself. Have fun, take care, and I'll be back again tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye for now.